Hi all, welcome to John's Model Making. Today we have issues 73 and 74 of Hachette's Builder Spitfire MK1A. Now we do have interior support of Fuselage panels to fit, so we'll make this into one video and then we'll have a look at the historical contents of each magazine and have a little read. Basically there's not a great lot to do, but it's going to be interesting to see how it all fits together and what the outcome is at the end, how it does look. Since I did issue 72, everything's working fine. This frame I just put in a larger screw, so that's kept that down, no problem whatsoever. All the cabling's fine. I've checked all the lights, the propeller, lights on both wings, everything's working fine. Obviously I've not tried any of these motors. I don't really want to test everything. Also, what I did, we have, as we know, a third motor here with part C on top. So I cut a piece of gauge wire and fitted it into part C to the wheel, and it fits perfectly. Goes through part B and it lines up nicely. So I think that's where part C is going to be. Only thing is, you have to take this frame off, then part 7102 I think it is, off the top of these motors, which will then make this loose again. As you know, this rod controller was giving us a bit of stick, so best thing to do is secure that in place with a bit of tape or a peg or a clamp. Well, she take all this lot off so it doesn't fall out. But obviously I've not tested the motor, but that's only a temporary thing. I just thought I'd see if a piece of wire would line up perfectly with that part C, and it does. Anyway, beside all that, let's get on with this build. Okie dokie. Right, so interior support and fuselage panels. So let's see where are the parts. Here we go. We have, let's put the plates on the side. Get the other camera on. Here we go. So we have 7301, a fuselage panel right side, which is looking absolutely lovely. There we go. That looks gorgeous. And then 7302, which is the other fuselage panel right side. Okay, basically go, I think, yep, like that. It matches up, and then we have this interior support, and we got 8 2x4mm KB screws and 4 2x4mm KM screws. So basically we have, I think those are the metal ones for the fuselage, and those are the KB screws. 8 off, yep. Okay though, so first off what we need to do is fit this interior support in place. And this basically, let's move that out to the way. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see, was a closer look there. This basically goes, get the orientation right. Yep. It's a daisy. There, like so. I'll try and get this on the other camera. Let's see. There we can see it on there. And there we can see it. There we go. Down here and here. Okie doke. So we fit that in place with, I believe, KB 2x4mm screws. It does mention that cable, which is perfectly fine. As long as you can see it at the top here, which you can quite easily. We can now secure Yep, take care not to over tighten the front screws. Okay, so take the fuselage section 7301, 7302. Check how they fit together on the inside. 2 screw holes on part 7302 fit over sockets on part 7301. A tab on part 7301 fits over the edge of part 7302. Fix the parts together with 2 km 2x4 mm screws, which are these km. Lovely jubbly. Now we got that, I don't think. Tighten that, clamp that a bit better. No, that should be fine. Right, let's see now. There are 4 fixing points for these. Yeah, that one there, there, there. So that does come up a little bit, and one there. That's going to look well bonny, isn't it, when it's in? There we go. That should fit flush there and there. Okay. So, check how the fuselage assembly fits in the angle between the wing and cockpit. 2 screw holes on tabs on the upper edge of the fuselage pieces match holes in the side of the model. When in the correct position, 2 screw holes in tabs on the lower edge of the assembly will be aligned with screw holes in the wing frame. Blue arrows. Excuse me for a second. So basically we have 1 km screw here at this end. So we can get that one in first. Actually, let's tilt that up. Gently put that in. There we go. And the other 3 fixings are KB screws. So one more there. Right. Tighten this one back up. There we go. So I'll get that out. Oh. There we go. That is issue 73 complete. That looks really bonny, that. Very nice indeed. So we've got a couple of screws left over. There's a bit of a gap there. Take that off. That looks perfectly lined up. That looks fine. Cable's out of the way. It should be. There we go. Yeah, well. That is lined up nicely there. That looks really bonny, that. Yep, that just touches there. Brilliant. Okay, so now that we've completed issue 73, I can move that out of the way again now. We can have a look at the contents of the magazine. And the first part, flying from Sicily. Spitfire units were flown to Sicily from Malta just 4 days after Allied troops first set foot on the Italian island during Operation Husky. In the picture, ground crew service on RAF Spitfire VC at what is thought to be Comiso airfield in Sicily in August 1943. The aircraft in the background is a Bf-109G, which was abandoned by a Jagdgeschwader 53 when Axis forces fled to the Italian mainland. With the Ponte Alivio landing ground Captured on 12th of July 1943, the 3 RAF Spitfire wings on motor were ordered to make preparations for a move to Sicily. The following day, the Luftwaffe appeared in strength for the final time as the Allied advance westward from Syracuse continued unabated. Some tricky words there for me. And on the next page we have a Spitfire ace, Petrus Piet Hugo. South African ace Piet Hugo was a veteran of the battles of France and Britain who went on to score many victories in North Africa and the Mediterranean. Pilot of a Petrus Piet Hugo of number 615 Squadron in his aircraft at Canley in Surrey during the Battle of Britain. Petrus Hendrik Hugo was born to farming parents in the Victoria West District of Cape Province, South Africa on 20th December 1917. After briefly studying at the Witwatersrand College of Aeronautical Engineering, he left for England to join the RAF on the Short Service Commission in 1938. I think I need to wet my whistle. And in the last story, winning the Battle of the Atlantic. Excuse me while I have a drink. Allied industrial might and technology eventually eliminated the German U-boat threat to Atlantic convoys, although submarines continued to threaten Allied shipping until the end of the war. The period from January to August 1942 was called the second happy time by the U-boat crews. American shipping became fair game and large numbers of vessels were sunk. While the US was now at war with the Axis powers, it did not order a blackout for its coastal towns and cities. As a result, ships were brightly silhouetted at night, and U-boats found it easy to pick off coastal shipping until an escorted convoy system was gradually developed by the end of 1942. Oh dear. And that goes on for 4 pages, and obviously, you know what, again, 74 more fuselage parts. So let's crack on with the build and do issue 74. Get the close-up cam. There we go, there's 73 all nice and bonny. As you can see, panel lines up perfectly alright here. Everything is hunky-dory. There we go, part 73. Again, exactly the same as, sorry, 74 less. Previous issue. And where have I put the magazine? Here we have the mag. There we go. Fuselage panel left side is 7401. Let's do the overhead cam. Plane out of the way. There we go. That's 7401. 7402 is the fuselage panel left side. And we have 2 sets of screws, 7403, which are silver, and 7404, which are black. Just like before. Now all we do is fit the 2 fuselage parts together using 7403 screws. So basically, a tough nut. Usually already threaded these. Let's pop a bit of oil on it. There we go. That's better. So wipe that excess oil off. Don't want that going everywhere. Right. We can pop this into place. It's only 4 screws, just exactly the same as before. That's a shot, Johnny. There we go. Oh. Tricky tripod. Sorry about this. There we go, I got a better shot. What we need now, we still need one of the silver screws, but we need So should this one. Brilliant. There we go. Excellent. That looks lovely and bonny, that, eh? Very nice. Very nice indeed. That does give it some oomph. Show from the front. There we go. As I said before, I checked all my lights and the propeller, everything's working fine. And I did mention the landing wheel. This is loose simply because I know it's got to come off for this landing wheel when we do get the extra rod controller from here to part C. I've put some gauge wire in like I mentioned before. It obviously won't operate anything because it's not powered up, but everything's fine. That one moves that motor as well. Okay, this only thing with them motors, because we've not tested any. Well, we've not tested them since we put them on the plane. Just checking to see if that's lined up. That looks lovely. Yep, that looks great there. Let's see if I can. There we go. Right, so as you can see that. I can't. There we go. She's looking beautiful. Let's pop her back. There we go. Gorgeous looking plane. Oh, it will be when we get the other panels. Excellent. Okay, so that's issues 73 and 74 complete. Not a fantastic lot to it, as you've seen, but yep, electrical and radio socket says there on the magazine. Okie doke. So let's have a look at what's in the magazine this week. Alright, first story, factory work making the weapons of war. There had been a serious problem with some of the industries that were supposed to create the weapons of war munitions for the armed services during World War I. The British government was determined that no such problems would be allowed to happen during this second Great World conflict. When the generals in France had complained of a shortage of shells in 1915, there was exasperation in Britain. People wondered how it was possible for the workshop of the world to find itself in such a position. The shortage on the front lines came about because of the unanticipated high rate of fire that quickly depleted stocks. The so-called shell crisis was widely publicised in the press and led to a political crisis in Britain. There we go. The invasion of Italy. Flying from airfields and nearby Sicily, Spitfire units were tasked with protecting the beachhead from Axis aircraft as Allied troops went ashore in Italy. In the picture, a Spitfire VCMA-289 of number 152 Squadron at Lentini, East Sicily on 11th of September 1943. At the time, the aircraft was being flown by a Polish pilot, Flight Lieutenant Maciek Drecki. I'm sure I've said that wrong. The invasion of Italy began on 3rd of September 1943 when British forces began crossing the Strait of Messina to land at Reggio Calabria. They did so under massive air cover from Sicily. Spitfire 8s of number 92 Squadron took off from Lentini west before dawn and maintained a standing patrol over the strait through daylight hours. And then the last one, number 2 Squadron SAAF. After considerable combat experience in North Africa from 1941 to 1943, number 2 Squadron SAAF received its first Spitfires on the eve of the invasion of Italy. Number 2 Squadron was formed when number 1 Squadron's second flight was renumbered on 1st of October 1940 in Kenya. Flying a mixed fleet of Hurricanes, Gladiators and Furies, the new unit was part of the South African Air Force's number 1 Bomber Brigade. Its task was to undertake escorts, patrols and defensive reconnaissance missions against Italian forces in East Africa. Lovely, lovely. And that goes on for quite a few pages. And another historical artifact of the invasion of southern France. Following the D-Day landings in Normandy, a second invasion of France took place in August 1944. It was codenamed Operation Dragoon. By mid-1944, the Allies could strike anywhere along the southern flank of Axis territory. Winston Churchill wanted to launch various operations in Greece and the Balkans, but Stalin disagreed, and Eisenhower also overruled him. With the success of the Normandy landings, the capture of Rome, and the French army desired to take a greater part in the liberation of their country, it was decided to land on France's Mediterranean coast instead. Replacing a plan called Anvil, Operation Dragoon was agreed in 4th of July. The new name was coined by Churchill, who said he was dragooned into it, and scheduled for mid-August 1944. Now we're winning. There we go. And in the next issue, 75, we have side and base panels for the display stand. Whoopie-doo! Brill! I can't wait to get all them little figures for the diorama. I hope the pilot looks a little bit rugged. I might have to weather him up, I think. Don't want him looking like a bit of a toy, do we? Anyway, that's issue 73 and 74 complete. I hope you did like that. If you did, please give us a big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and don't forget, subscription is free, doesn't cost you a penny. Please have a look at my other videos. I've got 71 and 72 up already, 73 and 74 up now, and we're going to have to wait for 2 or 3 more weeks to get the rest. But anyway, I've loved doing this. It's been brilliant. The Spitfire looks absolutely gorgeous. Obviously, I think the wings, the top of the wings, are going to be metal as well, so all that should mesh in nicely. Oh, it's all exciting. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.